pal, thanks for checking out the video. Today I'm going to be talking about everything wrong with my 1992 Nissan 240SX. There's a lot wrong with it. I got a lot of plans for it. I'll cover that afterwards. But let's just get right into it, starting with the bodywork. Okay, so the whole car is really rough, but this is one of the worst ones. I don't know how this happened. I bought it like this, but it's just so dented. It's starting to get some surface rust in here a little bit. The fender itself is cracked and paint's chipping all over the place. You can see it's in such rough shape. I don't even really care a whole lot about, having dirty hands and touching the car because it looks like crap anyways. The bumper is a different color than the fender, that's a different color than the hood, and none of it's glossy. It's just the bodywork and the paint leaves some to be desired. Next up, we got some more sizable dents down the passenger side of the car. There's a really big one here in the door. I don't even know if you could get this out. You probably could, but it's pretty deep. And then there's one more up here, right here, pretty big dent. You could probably get PDR to get a lot of the little ones out, and then maybe a big one like this, and maybe this one. But again, I'm not at the point where the car's ready for PDR. A lot more stuff has to happen before I can figure this stuff out. Up here on the roof is another area with some light rusting. The bummer is it's right at the window seal, so it actually leaks. I think it's this one over here that's the worst, but you can see it's just rusting right through, and it leaks down through the window seal. So thank goodness I have a garage to keep this car in. But one time I drove it to work, it rained, came back, and it was all kind of wet on the inside of the headliner. So that sucks. So this is another bummer. A bunch of different wings have been mounted here, so I don't know. It's starting to rust in some of these, like near some of the holes. The plugs, I don't know that they're watertight really. Not a permanent solution, but it came this way, and like I said, it's garage kept, so I haven't really worried about it leaking or anything, but still just a kind of an eyesore and a huge pain in the butt too, having to worry about all these holes. If I knew how to weld and had a welder and stuff, I think it'd be pretty easy to just put some plates in and weld them in, and then I've seen some people do a third brake light delete too, which looks kind of cool if you weld in a plate. But for now, with my skill set and what I've got, this is gonna have to do. I'd like to bring this to a welder and have them fix all the holes and then repaint it someday. But for now, like I said, being garage kept, I think this is just how it's gonna be for a little bit. Another bummer is that I don't have these like chooky bumper extensions, so I can't find them anywhere. I'm looking online and they sell them on eBay, but they're like OEM, they're really expensive. So I don't know. I haven't found a pair that I'm really ready to buy, and it looks like crap without it. You got holes, you got tape where there one used to be, and it looks just really unfinished, but for now that's kind of what I'm rocking. Also, I think these side markers are for like an E36 or something, BMW. They're definitely not for this car. So I actually bought clear side markers from Hinge, like I think they're P2M, and then had a little bit of an off-road excursion with the car, and one of them fell off. So they're only 30 bucks. I'll probably order them again at some point, but it was just like I just got them, and then like 2 weeks later one of them fell off. So they looked cool though, and it's not this big black thing. It was just clear and looks a lot better. So I'll hopefully get those back soon. As far as the front bumper itself, it's actually an OEM bumper. There's actually like Nissan printed on the inside and everything. It's got the whole front core support and or the front bumper support, and it's still like had really bad fitment. It really sagged. I don't know what I was doing wrong. I think I'm gonna blame the fenders, because the fenders were all like ripped out, so it couldn't actually bolt up properly to them. But regardless, the bumper itself's painted very poorly. It's really floppy at the bottom, and then there's like grill vents that go in here, and they didn't come with them, and I don't know where to find them. So I'm debating like cutting out these pieces so it's just like an open oval, but I don't know. It'd be easy enough to do with a Dremel. So one of the other things that's broken on here is the rear hatch hinge. So I think it rusted out or something, I don't really know, but one day I just went to close my trunk and the whole thing just kind of like shifted like this, and you can see it's kind of lifting up in the back there. So I was freaking out because it didn't just like do that, it kind of like popped out, and I was like, oh great, what the heck just broke? So I don't know if this seized up and that's what forced it out, or if it was just on its way out already. I don't really know. But this single strut will actually hold it up by itself. But if it's a little breezy, or if I know it's going to be up for a while, I'll just pop the other one in, and then I know it's not going to fall on my head. And then when I go to close it, I'll just take that strut out and then lower it down. So there's a little bit of vibration when I drive, just because it's all just kind of like sitting on top. It's really loose. It's not going to go flying, but it's just kind of sitting there. So it still latches okay, but like I said, there's some rattling. I'll put that clip now. So next we go under the hood, and this opens up a whole nother can of worms. There's so much wiring. I didn't do the SR20 swap, someone else did, and it's not the person I bought it from. So it's like, you know, a few owners removed. And I have no idea what's going on with a lot of this stuff. So I would love to someday take the engine out, go through all, you know, all the seals, go through everything, maybe get a wiring specialties harness, just so I know everything was done how I want it. And I also can understand how it was done, you know? With this, I'm like, okay, I think, so these injector plugs go here, but I don't know where this goes. And then it's a mishmash of stuff. There's a bunch of connectors that just end and aren't plugged into anything else. There's some fuses that are here, some that aren't. There's a relocated battery, so all of that wiring is in here, and the car works, so I'm reluctant to go in and change too much of it up or play around with it a whole lot. But at the same time, I want to try and clean it up and make it mine, do some of my work to it. But I don't know, like I said, for now it works, and someday when I take the engine out and do a full refresh and everything, then I'll try to handle some of the wiring, and like I said, do a wiring specialties harness or something like that. So next up is the starter. These cars are notorious for having a really like loud squealing starter after they get old. So I ordered a new ISR starter. I kind of figured, who knows how old this one is, I'll just get a new one. And I was really disappointed because it squealed just as loud as the first one. So I'm wondering if it's not a starter issue, if it's some flywheel issue or something. I really don't know. If you have any ideas, please throw it in the comments below. But I replaced the starter. It still squeals. I'll start it up right now so you can hear it. But it's only right at startup, and then it goes away immediately. So it leads me to think it's just the starter, but I just put a brand new one in, and it did the same thing. So I really don't know. Okay, so hopping inside, you can see the speedometer jumping around while we're just sitting here idling. And this did it a little bit before when I first bought the car, but it would be at like 2, 3, 5 miles an hour. I put in a new, more powerful alternator, and now it hovers at around 15 to 20 miles an hour. So I really don't know why it's doing this. It also idles really high. You can see right now it's at like 1300 RPM. Sometimes if I tap the gas, I can trick it to being lower. And other times it climbs back up. It's something's going on with the idle system, and I have parts on the way to try and diagnose it. That'll be a future video, but for now it's something kind of wrong with the car. You can see I can get it down low. It kind of sputters a little bit. So I gotta diagnose all this idle issues. I mentioned in my other video that I installed this AEM air to fuel ratio gauge, and I mean, it's really high quality. Everything seemed to work well, and then I started up the car with it wired up, and the car turned off. I'm gonna try and demonstrate it here, but right now it's just plugged into power, and then this other wire here goes to the sensor itself. If you plug the sensor wire in, it kills the car. I don't know why that it does that. The wiring is not connected to the car at all. There's no information that this sensor is giving the car. So I have no idea why plugging in just the sensor would turn off the car. It's really, really strange. I don't know at all. You can see it starts right back up. But again, as soon as I plug in this sensor, well, it's funny I should say that because now it's plugged in and it's reading values. And the car isn't turning off. So regardless, the whole thing is really confusing me, and I'd like to try and get it figured out with this air-fuel ratio. Also, while we're here looking in the vicinity of the steering wheel, you can see right now the wheels are pointed straight. So we need a bit of an alignment. This is about what straight looks like on the wheels. I don't know. I'm kind of bummed. This is after an alignment. I brought it to go get it aligned, and they said this is the best that they could do. So I gotta look into new tie rods, or maybe fixing what I screwed up with the tie rods, and then go in and get it aligned again so that I have a straight steering wheel. She does sound good though. One of the other things that's kind of wrong with this engine is, I mean, everything leaks. You can see valve cover gasket's leaking. It's just a huge mess under here. I've tried cleaning it a bunch of times and it just gets so dirty again. So yeah, I do have a new valve cover gasket in the garage, and I'm planning on doing it at some point soon. I've just never dealt with a valve cover before, so it's a little daunting. I mean, it sounds easy enough, and some people do it all the time, like they make it seem super easy, but for me, being a noob still, it's a little sketchy. I don't feel super comfortable doing it yet, but it's on the list to do, and hopefully that'll help some of our oil leaking issues. Also got a pretty nasty coolant leak here. You can see the wet spots aren't oil. Well, it looks like there's a little oil in that one, but it's mostly coolant. So I think I know where it's coming from. It's like jammed. Here, wait, let me try and show you. It's that wet fitting right there. So that's well behind everything. And I don't know how I'm gonna get in there. I've tried getting in from the bottom, tried getting in from up here, and every time it just gets, I don't know, I can't get a good handle on it, and it just keeps leaking. So I think that's where it's leaking from. I'm not 100% sure. There's probably other spots too. Okay, so that covers the good, the bad, and the ugly. Mostly the bad and the ugly of my car. But now the exciting part of what are my plans? What do I want to do to this thing? So first thing is I'd really like to clean up the engine bay, figure out the oil leaks, figure out the coolant leaks, and get the engine running efficiently, smoothly, figure out the idle, figure out the wiring, kind of finish up what my original plan was to be phase one of just getting this thing reliable, working properly, and not a headache of every time I drive it, oh, is it gonna break down? Oh, am I gonna have this problem starting it or something? I just wanna be able to take it out on the weekends and enjoy it. So that's kind of phase one in my mind. And I'm almost there. I just gotta figure out a few more things in the engine bay. After that, my phase two idea was to do 5-low conversion, big brake kit, and new wheels and tires. So it's in the works. I have new Z32 calipers. I have Z32 rotors. I was thinking about going with the drilled and slotted, but I don't really like the look of that on a street car. It looks sick on a race car, but on a street car, I don't know. I think the clean, just flat silver looks best. So I got some Brembo rotors actually, and then I have 5-lug hubs, 5-lug conversion in the mail somewhere. I think it was back ordered when I ordered it, so I'll get that whenever. Not in a huge rush. And then controversial, I know, but I really want to do RPF ones on this car. I haven't had RPF ones before, and I just think they look really good on this car. Yes, they're overdone. Yes, a lot of people have them, but I haven't had them yet, and I think a nice clean silver RPF one with some bigger brakes behind it on a white car looks super good. So that's kind of the plan for now. The spec for these is 17x9 plus 22. So I'm looking for some. Found a couple in the area, but the sellers were kind of sketchy, so never ended up getting those. After that, cosmetic things. Big thing I like to do is a new bumper. Yeah, the Chuki style is unique and interesting, but I don't know, I think it kind of looks like duck lips. And there's just so many other cool bumpers out there. I'm toying with the idea of doing like a Type X kit. I think that'd be kind of cool and staying OEM. But there's just so many other really cool Japanese options and knockoffs and Dorky Dory and all these different things. So I like to do new front and rear bumpers, some sort of side skirt, and then just get new stock front fenders. I think this one's beyond saving. So new stock fenders and upgraded bumpers. I don't think I want to do any like wide body or over fenders or anything like that, especially if I want to stay with the 17x9 wheels. If I was doing 18s or something crazy, then yeah, over fenders look really good. But for this, I think just stock fenders is great. And then after that, once I get all the fenders on, biggest thing is just repainting or wrapping or whatever I decide to do. I kind of go back and forth on what color I want to do. I've never had a white car. I always thought they were kind of cool, so I am inclined to keep it white, especially because the engine bay will be white, the door sills will be white, everything will be white. But I also have a thing for blue cars. I think a deep blue, not navy, but like a deep royal blue looks so cool. So I've considered wrapping it navy blue, but I'm not sure on that yet. That's so far down the line. I don't need to have plans. Yeah, so overall that's everything that's wrong with my S13, kind of my plans for the future. So hope you enjoyed the video. Go check out my other video where I talk about everything I've done to it. But yeah, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.